Hi team, and welcome back to our Introduction to Ancient Greece Anchor Fact series of printables and mini lessons. Sadly, for the remainder of the story, we have to talk about the decline and fall of ancient Greece. Despite all the great things the Greeks accomplished, like the abolition of debt slavery by Solon circa 594 BC, and the rise of democracy in Athens thanks to Cleisthenes circa 508 BC, there was one essential thing they were never able to do. They were never able to unite into one country and one people. As we talked about in Lesson 2, the Greeks continued to live in separate city-states. Athens, Sparta, Thebes, Corinth, and others continued to have separate governments and to see each other mainly as rivals and sometimes enemies. This is such a tragedy that when the founding fathers of the United States were considering what to do with the 13 separate colonies of America after defeating the British in the American Revolution, their main example of what not to do was Greece. They knew well of this example because they studied history. The founding fathers knew that history provides us with guidance when it comes with what to do and what not to do. They knew that the Greeks had worked together to defeat the Persians, but that afterwards, the two most powerful cities, Athens and Sparta, had gone to war against each other in what is called the Peloponnesian War. Why? Well, we know that Athens was a democracy. What about Sparta? Sparta is famous in history for producing the fiercest warriors, such as King Leonidas and the 300. The big difference between Athens and Sparta was that the Athenians wanted a better life. They wanted progress. They wanted art and learning. The Spartans didn't. The Spartans believed that the only thing that matters is war. So they had built a society in which every citizen is a warrior first. In Sparta, children were taken from their parents at a young age to live in a military school and receive training for life. The goal of every Spartan male was to be drafted into a platoon that he would serve. Above all, the Spartans valued strength and honor and service to the community. They certainly did not believe in the pursuit of happiness. In fact, it's fair to say that they did not believe in happiness at all. Nobody was allowed to pursue it. The word Spartan is used as an adjective in modern English to describe someone that is disciplined and austere. In other words, someone who does not seek to enjoy life. When Athens and Sparta were done being temporary allies against Persia, they both began to think about the future of Greece. They knew that they couldn't both be in charge, and both of them believed in their way of life. This led to the Peloponnesian War between them. What does Peloponnesian mean? When we look at the geography of Greece, we see that it has a very jagged shape, and it's full of mountains. One part sticks out from the rest and is connected by a very narrow land bridge to the rest. It's called the Peloponnesian Peninsula, or simply the Peloponnese. A peninsula is a piece of land that sticks out from a continent that is surrounded by water on all sides except one. Italy is an example, Florida is another. Even though its shape is very different, so is the Peloponnese. We know the story of the Peloponnesian War thanks to the Greek historian Thucydides. Probably the most famous part of that history is a speech given by the Athenian leader Pericles, known as the funeral oration. It is considered one of the great speeches in history, and it is a lot like Abraham Lincoln's speech at Gettysburg. It praises Athens and the men who have died for it, and it encourages the Athenians to keep fighting. Here are a few of the most famous words of Pericles. Our Constitution does not copy the laws of neighboring states. We are rather a pattern to others. Its administration favors the many instead of the few. This is why it's called a democracy. The freedom which we enjoy in our government extends also to our ordinary life. We do not feel called upon to be angry with our neighbor for doing what he likes. And yet, we are still willing to encounter danger. I doubt if the world can produce a man so happy and versatile as the Athenian. Athens alone, when tested, is greater than her reputation. The admiration of the present and succeeding ages will be ours. Boy, was he right. Such is Athens, for which these men, in the assertion of their resolve not to lose her, nobly fought and died. Feed your eyes upon her from day to day, till love of her fills your hearts, judging happiness to be the fruit of freedom and freedom of valor. Never decline the dangers of war. When the rewards for merit are greatest, there are found the best citizens. And now that you have brought to a close your lamentations for your relatives, you may depart. Sadly, the love of life of the Athenians was not enough. They lost the Peloponnesian War, partly because the Spartans received help from the Persians. History will always remember the Spartans who gave their life for Greece, but it will also remember that they destroyed Greece in the end.